guys, Lucas Sacco here. Before we get into the video, I did want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor, Dueling Guard. They have mats, deck boxes, bags, everything you can think of for TCG apparel. Check them out in the description box down below and use code Sacco for 5% off. Hey guys, Lucas Sacco here. Today I have the Malice Complete Combo Guide. Just like how we did for the Ryzel last week, I posted a video on Monday about that. It was a pretty long video. We just kind of broke down the entire deck. I'm going to do the same thing for the Malice deck today, go over some of the combos, and basically just how this deck works. I'm just going to get right into it. The deck is based around 3 main deck monsters. So you have White Rabbit, Dormouse, and Cheshire Cat. 2 of these monsters are 1-card combos, while Cheshire does need one of these starters in your hand in order to play the game. However, you still want to play it because it's just a name. If you open Cheshire plus a Bestial or any other engine card really with Cheshire, you are able to full combo them to a very, very good board. As well as Cheshire is a name that you just kind of have to facilitate, and you do want more than one of it in your deck because you do want to up the chances of drawing it. But getting straight into it, they all have this like extra effect at the top of their text that includes like either like not dying by battle, you take no battle damage. For White Rabbit, it's you take no battle damage from battles involving Malice Link monsters that point to this card, which is really cool because the field spell also has an effect, and that effect is that if your opponent attacks, they have to attack a Malice monster. So they can't really run over White Rabbit, and then if they do attack a Link monster, then you take no battle damage from it, which is really cool there. And then it says you can only use each of the effects once per turn. If this card is no more special summon, you can set 1 Malice trap from your deck with a different name from the cards in your graveyard. If this card is banished, you can pay 300 life points to special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for Link monsters. So they all have this effect here to where if they're banished, they can summon themselves back. That's kind of the deck gimmick, and it's going to lock you into Link monsters, which is if you look down at our extra deck, it's not really going to be a problem. For us, White Rabbit is one of the most important starters of the deck. Getting access to your traps is really important, and even though they're traps, they do help you combo a lot, which I'll explain later. Moving on to probably the best starter of the deck is Dormouse. This is the 1-card combo that lets you play around Nib, and the board is insane playing through everything. This monster's hidden effect is Malice Link monsters that point to this card cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is really cool. Now you're not only not taking battle damage, but they can't be destroyed by card effects, so a lot of good synergy there, being able to like protect your Link monsters, especially when they have to attack those with the field spell. Then this card's on field effect says, during your main phase, you can banish 1 Malice monster from your deck. Also, all Malice monsters you control will gain 600 attack this turn. So this effect matters a lot. This is like your best extender, right? You're going to banish a guy from deck, it's going to come back, it's going to use its effect. Not only that, but the 600 attack gain matters a lot because it applies for the whole turn. So if you summon one of your Link monsters later in the turn, it's not just 2300 attack, it's going to come back, it's going to summon at 2900, which is going to add up a lot, because if you have 4 Malice monsters on the field, that's an extra 2400 damage that you get just for using this card to combo, which you're going to do anyways. And then it does have that same banish effect. If this card is banished, pay 300 life points special on this card, lock yourself into Link monsters from the extra deck. Moving on to Cheshire Cat. Any monster destroyed by battle with a Malice Link monster that points to this card is banished. So that's going to matter a lot as well. Being able to set this up to remove scary threats, like if your opponent has Garunix on the field and you want to get rid of it and you're not able to kill them, being able to swing over it and banish it's really, really cool. Next thing, it says, during your main phase, you can banish 1 Malice card from your hand, then draw 2 cards. Absolutely great effect here. That's why we're playing it, even though it's not a starter. And then if this card is banished, pay 3 life points, special summon this card, and lock yourself into Link monsters. So that's it for the 3 like main deck Malice monsters here. You'll see that we are playing just some like generic Cyberse extenders. You need Dotscaper for one of your combos. You need Mathmech Sigma for almost all of your combos. Same with Dotscaper, actually. You need these for pretty much all your combos. And then Code of Soul. This is just a generic extender that you're going to play. If you don't know what this does, it's like a quick effect banish from graveyard, and then link during your opponent's turn. A lot of the time, you're going to dump this off of your Terahertz if you don't use it to like extend by drawing into it with either itself or Sign Up Mining. Moving on to the field spell, Malice and Underground. This is technically one of your 1-card combos. However, it's not the best 1-card combo, but it definitely does still do something. Malice Underground says when this card is activated, you can banish 1 Malice card. Important that it banishes a card, not just a monster, from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And then while there are 3 or more banished Malice traps with different names, Malice Link monsters you control gain 3000 attack. So this is going to matter a lot because usually you end up using 1 trap on your turn to combo, and then you're going to banish that card in order to like resolve one of your card's effects, right? So it's going to banish 1. Then you're going to have that same situation to where you're going to use a trap during your opponent's turn, and you can do that same thing where you banish the trap, and that leaves your next turn's follow-up to be able to activate Malice Underground and banish the last trap from your deck, and then boost your guys by 3000. This is a reason this deck doesn't really need access code. It's because you have infinite damage with your Link monsters, and you have very good removal in your deck. It's not really something that's necessary to play. Lastly, it says while you control any Malice Link monster, your opponent's monsters can only target those monsters for attacks. So the same thing that we said earlier. Once you have like White Rabbit, Dormouse, and Cheshire Cat applying like different like effects to your Link monsters, having the field spell making them have to attack that is really cool. It's basically Nightmare Pain. Then you have one Terraforming. It's gonna add extra extenders to your deck. And Gold Sarcophagus. Gold Sarc is a full combo in this deck. You can activate Gold Sarc, banish Dormouse, summon it back, full combo. And then lastly, you have 3 Signet Minings. All of the main deck starters are Cybers. It's basically like a full Cybers deck. We thought it was best to play Signet Mining over Allure of Darkness, because if you look at the math for Allure, it's actually really not that good, especially post-side, because you're usually siding down going second. You don't want to have to take out all of your like starters going second. You're definitely taking an Allure when you're going second. But also, it's going to like help you play around Droll, going for Signet Mining instead, because if you start with Signet Mining and you add Dormouse, if you get Drolled there, it really doesn't affect you too much. But if you go activate Allure of Darkness, you draw 2 cards, you have to banish like one of your dark monsters, which you're not even guaranteed to have, and then it's still going to hurt you because you're not getting like the best like starter in rotation. So we chose to play Signet Mining. It's also going to help with your plays through Lancia, which I'll show you guys in this video. And then moving on to the 3 traps of the deck. There is TB11. This is the one that summons from deck. This is the best one. You're going to use this in almost all of your combos. You can activate this card the turn it is set by banishing 1 face-up Malice monster you control. Special summon 1 Malice monster from your deck, or if your opponent controls 3 or more cards, you can special summon 1 Malice Link monster from your extra deck instead. The summon monster cannot attack or activate its effects this turn. This is going to matter a lot. Some people are going to try to cheat with this just because they don't fully read the card. You're usually not using this effect here to summon from your extra deck, so keep that in mind. Most of the time, you're just going to be summoning from deck. There's that one, but like as you can see, these cards here all have this effect here that says you can activate this card. The turn it is set by banishing a Malice monster you control. So you can do a lot of things. You can bluff your opponent really hard. Like if you have Terraforming and you have Malice Underground, you can start by setting Terraforming and then normal summoning whatever starter you have, and that may like demote your opponent from like interacting with it. They might not imperm your Dormouse because they think that you have the trap set. So bluffing like that's going to be really, really cool for this deck. You definitely should not be doing it every single game in a match, or else your opponent's going to catch on to the fact that you've never used the card you set, even though it would be a good time to interact with it. And they may see that you're trying to bluff that. But that is important to know that you can use different cards to try to like play mind games with your opponent. Moving on, you have MTP07. This is the best one because it's kind of, or not the best one. It's the one that you want to set up on your opponent's turn because this is like an interruption. You can activate this card the turn it is set by banishing a Malice monster. Add 1 Malice monster from your deck to your hand. Then if you control a Malice Link monster, you can banish 1 card on the field. So boom, this is just instant removal. It doesn't target, and it doesn't have to be a monster, it's just any card. So that's really, really good. And then moving on to GWC6. This is the one that's going to help you play around Nib in almost all of your combos. You're going to make sure that if they do Nib you, you have a way to extend by either like a hand extender or by having a way to banish a guy, summon it back, and then go into like Link Spider with the token and Splash Mage, and then go into whatever Link monster you want to continue to play. But after you like get to a certain point, you're going to set this, and then you can use the other extender you have to try to finish your board. If they do decide to nib you, you're going to have this on your end board, so it's not going to matter as much. You're going to have some play through nib. But this one says, special summon 1 Malice monster from your graveyard or banishment. Really important, this card does not target at all, so it's important to note that you can change if something does like interact. Then if you control a Malice Link monster, you can gain life points equal to the summoned monster's original attack. So this is how this deck is not going to lose in time. It's using GW6 to gain life points back. You're going to pay 300 with all of the little guys, and then usually you do end up paying an additional 900 off of each one of these. So you're going to pay a total of, 2,700 life points, which is kind of a lot, but summon monster's original attack. You're going to gain a good amount back, right? You can also do combos to where you don't use like all of the banish guys effects to gain or to not like pay as much life points, and then GWC06 is going to summon back a guy that's like 23 or 25, and that's going to put you ahead in life in case time is an issue. That's it for pretty much all like the main deck decisions here. You guys can see the rest of the deck. 3 Druid or three Bystials is really important. I think you can play 4. I think the Bystials are not that great into this format, so it's best to just kind of minimize however many you play. But the Bystial plus a like main deck monster is one of the best combos I've ever seen. It plays through everything so phenomenally. Shifters in this deck, that's pretty standard. There's not too many different like other options that you can play as far as main deck wise. I saw some people that were playing like an Agnister engine, but it just kind of feels wasted. You're not getting to all of your engine off of it. and so it's better probably just to stick to like the actual core of the deck. Moving to the extra deck, something that's different in this build is that we're playing Disciple and Devotee. This is going to give us more plays through Lancia. Lancia is a big problem for this deck because not only is it a floodgate when they go first like D-Barrier is, it's also a floodgate when you're going first, right? They can drop it from their hand and just absolutely floodgate you out of the game. I think citing Called By and maybe even Crossout is going to be really important for this deck. You have to be able to turn that off or else you're probably going to lose the game. But if you don't have access to those, you can still do something. It does require you to get into one of your extenders or like one of your like Cyberse monsters, either Sigma, Code of Soul, or Dotscaper. You do have 3 Signet Mining to help you find those. And then if you could draw into like a White Rabbit or a Dormouse with these, it helps a lot as well. It makes your combos just infinitely better. Then you have the boss monster of the Malice deck. This is Hearts of Cryptor. It requires 3 monsters, including a Malice monster. A lot of people are going to forget this requires 3 monsters as well, and they're just going to make it with 2 monsters, including a Malice. So make sure you watch out for that. This card is kind of like Mirror Jade. It has a quick effect that it can target one of its banished Malice cards, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, banish 1 card on the field. This is really important as well. This is another one that targets just Malice cards in general, not just monsters. So you can actually recycle your traps if that's what you're wanting to do. Being able to put your TB11 back into the deck to combo for next turn is really, really cool. Then it says, this effect's activation and effect cannot be negated if this card points to a monster. So this is going to resolve. They are going to get their card banished. So being able to hold on to this for a really long time and them not being able to like really check this, unless they try to like use some sort of removal on it, is going to be really, really impactful. Especially with the fact that this card doesn't target at all. If this card is banished, you can pay 900 life points, special summon this card, and if you do, its attack becomes doubled. All of the Malice Link monsters have this kind of effect here, to where they pay 900 life points. It's just kind of because they're like a Link 3. These all pay 300, right? And if this is a Link 3, then it's going to pay 3 times that. That's just kind of their whole gimmick. And then they have an extra effect when it summons itself back. This one gains double attack. The other ones do other things. Moving on to Red Ransom. This only requires 2+ monsters, but it is still a Link 3. And then it says, while this card points to a monster, switch the original attack and defense of all effect monsters your opponent controls. So this is another really random effect that's just annoying for your opponent, right? Because they're definitely going to forget this. This is going to be really important for outing like big monsters like Garunix. Being able to swap its attack and defense is going to be really helpful for clearing it from the field. And then you also have like the Cheshire effect ability to banish it when it does destroy a monster at battle. But that's going to be important to know. Then it says, if this card is special summon, you can add 1 Malice spell from your hand. There's only 1 Malice spell so far. It's Malice Underground. But being able to search for the field spell, which is also next turn, is great. Then this card says, if this card is banished, pay 900 life points, special summon this card, then banish 1 Cyberse monster from your deck. Most of the time that you use this, you're going to be banishing Dotscaper from your deck and then using its effect to summon back. But if for some reason you had not gone through all of your names with the Malice monsters, you can also banish like a Dormouse or a White Rabbit and use its effect to get that back and then continue to extend even further than just having the bodies there. And then lastly, we have Whitebinder. This one is probably the best out of the 3 in my opinion. This card is absolutely insane. It says, if this card is special summon, target up to 3 cards in any graveyards, banish them. During your main phase, you can set 1 Malice trap from your deck or graveyard. And then if this card is banished, pay 900 life points, special summon this card, and draw. So this card has 3 effects, and they're all phenomenal. It's a disruption, it's an extender, and it's a draw. That's nuts. That's usually not seen on any card right now in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! The rest of the extra decks down here, a lot of it's really staple except for Cyberse Wicked. We decided that Cyberse Wicked was better. It lets you extend better through different situations without having to commit cards. So we liked Cyberse Wicked over other things in the extra deck. But let's go ahead and just hop into some of the combos. So this is what happens if you just have Dormouse. Like I said, this is the best 1-card starter in your deck. We're going to go ahead and start off by normal summoning Dormouse. Use Dormouse's effect. We're going to banish White Rabbit from deck. And then we're going to use White Rabbit to go ahead and special summon stuff back by paying 300 life points. We're then going to go ahead and use White Rabbit effect on summon to set TB11 from our deck. This is, like I said, the best extender in your deck. It's going to help you play through hand traps throughout this combo, as well as extend past certain things. Now that we have that trap set, we're going to go ahead and consider ourselves safe from Nibiru. We're only at 2 summons now, so our goal is to try to get into one of the Link 3 monsters before summon 5. That way, if they do nib us, we can chain the trap and banish it, or extend in a different way. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to link our 2 monsters into Haggard Lizard Rose. This card is really cool in the deck because it banishes for cost. So, banish a monster for cost, and then you can make a guy change attack points. It doesn't really matter too much what you're doing with that, but you're going to use Haggard Lizard Rose and banish Dormouse here, so that you can resolve the other effect, which is to change something's attack. And then if it was a reptile, you can draw a card, but you're not really going to banish a reptile too often unless you're in like a really weird spot. And you can banish itself. But we're going to banish Dormouse here, which is going to trigger the Dormouse effect in a new chain link to summon back. So now we're on 4 summons. We're going to go ahead and link away Dormouse, link away Lizard Rose, go into Red Ransom. So we did get to a guy before summon 5. We're going to use the Red Ransom effect to go ahead and add Malice to Underground. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to flip our trap card up, and we're going to banish our Red Ransom in order to do so. And that's going to special summon a guy from our deck. So we're going to summon out the Cheshire Cat. And then we're going to use the Red Ransom effect to special summon back by paying 900 life points and banishing the Dotscaper from our deck. And a new Chain Link Dotscaper is going to come back. And now we have Red Ransom, we have Cheshire Cat, and we have Dotscaper. If our opponent does nib us, we have Malice and Underground still to extend, because we haven't used the effect of Cheshire when it's banished. So we can activate, banish the Cheshire Cat, summon it back, make a Link Spider, make a Splash Mage, and then revive, and then go from there. Now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and link away Dotscaper into Link Disciple. Really funny, we're actually not going to use Link Disciple's effect at all in this combo. We're just going to use it as a generic arrow that points down, but this card is used in a lot of the other combos to play through, like Lancia, even Shifter. So it's important to know that these cards do have multi-purposes in the deck. We're then going to link away the Cheshire Cat, make a Link Decoder, and then link the Link Decoder and the Red Ransom. We're going to go into Firewall Dragon, and then we're going to trigger the effect of Link Decoder because it was sent to the graveyard as material for a Cyberse Link monster with 2300 or more original attack. Special summon this card. We're going to summon it out, and now we're going to use the effect of Firewall Dragon, which is going to add our White Rabbit to our hand. It doesn't really matter which Cyberse monster you add here. I would say leave Cheshire in graveyard just because you don't want to use that extender yet. And then you can add either Dormouse or White Rabbit. From now on, we're going to link away the Link Disciple and the Link Decoder. We're going to make Cyberse Wicked, and we're going to trigger the other effect of the Firewall Dragon. It says if a monster this card points to destroy by battle or sent to the graveyard, you can special one Cyberse monster from your hand. So we're going to summon out that White Rabbit that we had added back earlier, which is then going to trigger the effect of Cyberse Wicked to banish from our graveyard and then add Mathmech Sigma. This is just a generic Cyberse extender at this point, but it does come in handy here in this combo. We're now going to link away our Rabbit and our Wicked, go into White Binder, and then on summon, we're going to use the White Binder effect. We're going to banish our Cheshire Cat and our TB11, which is then going to trigger the Cheshire Cat to summon back. It's okay that we can banish our Cheshire Cat now. Even though our Malice Underground doesn't really do anything at this point, we have Mathmech Sigma to extend. So from here, we're going to use the Binder effect. We're going to set our GWC06 from deck, and now we have protection from nib in another way. We can use the Cheshire Cat effect. We're going to banish the Malice Underground from our hand, which is going to let us draw 2 cards. Right, we still can extend. If they nib us, we have the ability to link to special summon the Sigma, and then link 1, and then we can go to Splash Mage or do whatever we want there. Plus, we're going to have this trap card. We're now going to link away the White Binder and the Cheshire Cat and make SP Little Knight. We're actually not locked into anything. We're not locked into any sort of Cyberse or any restriction right now. The only cards in our deck that lock us into Cyberse, it's the Mathmech Sigma that's in our hand. When we use his effect to special summon, it's going to lock us for the rest of the turn. And then the other one is Splash Mage for the rest of the turn, which we just don't even use in this combo. So we're going to link those two into SP. We're going to use SP's effect, actually, and we're going to banish our White Binder from graveyard, which is going to trigger its effect to special summon back by paying 900, and then we're going to get 1 more draw. So that's our 3rd draw for the turn. Next thing we're going to do now is we're going to special summon out Mathmech Sigma. Here is really cool with how we sequence this turn here. We did already use the Firewall Dragon's effect to bounce, so this is not a disruption at all. It's basically just a Link 4 body that we're going to use in our combo. However, if they wait till this point to nib you, or wait until you make this SP Little Knight, what you can do is you can use SP to tag out itself and the Firewall Dragon, and then during the end phase, when they come back, Firewall Dragon's reset because it's not the same card on the field. So you're going to have a bounce with Firewall, the SP, and the whole trap interaction, which is going to be insane. And if they decide to wait even longer, the next thing you're going to do is you're actually going to link away the Firewall, you're going to link away the White Binder and the Sigma, you're going to make Terahertz, and then you can use the Terahertz effect to dump Disave Worm. It technically is better to wait to go to the end phase with Terahertz to use the effect to dump Disave Worm, but it doesn't really matter too much. It's just like very specific interactions, like if they Veil or this or whatever. But yeah, you're going to dump Disave Worm here. This is going to be your end board. On your opponent's turn, the Terahertz is going to dump the Code of Soul, and that's how you're going to get into that Malice of Crypts, or the Heart of Crypts card, the boss monster that banishes. But in this combo, in our 1-card combo, we played around nib, we got to a monster, or a Spell Trap Negate, right, with the Terahertz. We got into a Quick Effect Link with the Code of Soul. We have SP Banish. We have the Trap card, which is going to net you 3 disruptions on its own, because you're going to get the banish. You're going to be able to banish 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard. You're going to be able to summon back the White Rabbit. White Rabbit's going to set the trap that adds. You're going to be able to activate it by banishing the White Rabbit again to add a card and then banish their card. And then you're going to get another draw. Not to mention, we also got 3 draws in this combo, right? They're really not going to be able to break this board. And if they do, you actually do have a good amount of follow-up, because you're going to have White Binder, you're going to have Red Ransom. If you are able somehow to banish these cards from the graveyard again, you're full comboing, right? During your opponent's turn, you should be able to get this Red Ransom effect to special summon back and banish from deck. On summon, because this is just on special summon, you're going to be allowed another copy of Field Spell. So that's going to be like your main follow-up. And then even if they clear every card you have, all you have to do next turn to put up lethal is activate the Field Spell, banish Whitebinder from your graveyard. Whitebinder effect is going to special summon back. And then on special summon, it's going to target 3 cards and banish them. So you can just banish like Red Ransom, the Hearts of Crypt that you have in your graveyard, a White Rabbit. You can banish all 3 of those. They're all going to summon back. That's basically lethal. It's definitely lethal because the Hearts of Crypt is going to come back at 5,000 attack. So there's just a few different things to note. But this is the 1-card combo that we've decided is the best. It does play around Nib, the best in my opinion, as well as nets you the strongest board. Let's go ahead and hop into some of the 2-card combos. So this 2-card combo is Cheshire Cat plus any Bestial monster. I wanted to show off this one because Cheshire Cat is usually a card that doesn't do anything on its own. And so I wanted to show how far you can get with just introducing one Bestial to the equation. We're going to start off by normal summoning Cheshire Cat. If you have something in your hand, another Malice card, you can activate it now to banish and draw. It doesn't really matter when you do this. But now we're going to link away the Cheshire Cat into Link Decoder. We're going to use Magnemite, banish off this Cheshire Cat, and then you can use Chainlink 1 Magnemite if that's like which Bestial you had, and then Chainlink 2 Cheshire to summon back. We're now at 4 summons, so the next thing we're going to do to play around Nib is we're actually just going to link all of these off into Red Ransom. We're going to get Chainlink 1 Red Ransom, Chainlink 2 Link Decoder, so they can't even Ash the Red Ransom, which is really important because Ash is just not very good into this deck in most situations. We're going to search for Malice and Underground, and then we're going to go ahead and link away the Link Decoder and the Red Ransom. We're going to make Cyberse Wicked, and then activate Malice and Underground to banish off the White Rabbit from our deck, special back White Rabbit, and then we can go Chainlink 1 Cyberse Wicked, Chainlink 2 White Rabbit. Search out Sigma. I did want to note that for the Cyberse Wicked, you do have to banish a Cyberse monster from your graveyard. I forgot to do that. Doesn't really matter. There, you have infinite Cyberse monsters in your graveyard. Just banish this Cheshire Cat. But now we're going to link away the White Rabbit into the Wicked. Or link away the White Rabbit and the Wicked. Make Whitebinder. Use Whitebinder to banish our Red Ransom. And then Red Ransom is going to go ahead and special summon itself back. If they do decide to nib you here, you have a lot of counterplay to it. You can chain the TB11. You can banish your Whitebinder. Summon out the last name from deck, which would be Dormouse. The nib's going to resolve in a new chain link. You're going to get Whitebinder to special summon back. You're going to get a draw. And then you still have Sigma to extend. You have Link Spider. You have Splash Mage. There's so many different things you can do. So from now, we're going to resolve the Red Ransom. We're going to banish Dotscaper. Use Dotscaper to summon back. Still that same situation. If they decide to nib us, we can chain TB11. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the Whitebinder. We're going to set GW6 from our deck. We're now going to link away the Whitebinder and the Dotscaper into SP Little Knight. Use SP to now banish our Whitebinder, which is going to summon back and get us a draw. From here, if they nib us, we have the SP tag out with Whitebinder. So those cards are going to come back for your opponent's turn, and then you can still extend by special summoning Sigma, make Link Spider, etc. Play from there. We're going to get our 1 draw off of Whitebinder, and then from here we can special summon out the Sigma. And if they do decide to nib us here, still not the worst thing. We have TB11 and GW6 for our opponent's turn. And then we're going to link away all of our other monsters into Terahertz and use Terahertz to send the Disabler. So in this combo, our 1 card that's usually not a starter, and any Bestial monster, which is usually also not a starter, ends us with Terahertz, SP. We play through Nib phenomenally. We play around Ash Blossom completely because we don't even activate TB11 in this turn. The only thing that they can like Ash in your combo is Cyberse Wicked, but you can chain block it with the White Rabbit. So there should be almost 0 time that they can activate Ash Blossom throughout this turn. The only thing to keep in mind, though, is they can Ash Terahertz, and it's kind of like a semi-board breaker in that instance. Because if they Ash Terahertz on their turn, it's going to stop you from either sending Code of Soul, or they can Ash it on your turn. It's going to stop you from sending the Deceive Worm. But that is something to keep in mind. Either way, we still got to our full inboard through it, and we actually have a little bit more because we do still have both trap set. So that's it for the like Bestial plus Cheshire Cat combo. I'm going to show you guys some of the Shifter combos and show you how this deck changes, because honestly, when this deck has Shifter is when it's at its best. It lets you not only play around Nib even better, but it lets you do really, really cool things with your monsters and climb up into certain like neat interactions. In this combo, we have Dimensional Shifter as well as Malice P Dormouse. We're going to start off this combo with a big surprise. We're going to activate Dimensional Shifter. Then we're going to normal summon Dormouse. We're going to use Dormouse's effect to banish White Rabbit and use White Rabbit to set TB11. This is where you're going to see the combo change. It is a little bit different in our combos that we have Shifter, obviously because our monsters are going to get banished instead of going to the graveyard. We're not going to end with Terahertz. We're going to end with something else. We're then going to activate the TB11. We're going to banish our Dormouse and special summon Cheshire Cat from our deck. And then we're going to use the effect of Dormouse to special summon back because it was banished. Now this is where the combos are going to pivot a lot, and why it's really important to try to memorize some of these things if you are going to play Malice. From here, we have a couple different options, but the best one that I found is we're actually just going to link away everything into Hearts of Cryptor, This is going to play around Nib to the best of your ability, because before we did Link Away, we were on 4 summons. The Hearts of Cryptor is going to be our 5th summon. If they decide to nib our Hearts of Cryptor, it's going to get banished because of the Shifter's effect. We're going to get the Cryptor's effect and then special summon back by paying 900 life points. And then that nib is not going to be a problem because we can just use the effect of Hearts of Cryptor on our turn to shuffle back a banished Malice card and banish the nib. So the next thing we're going to do here is, because we haven't used the effect of Cheshire Cat, we're not going to get that effect to summon back because it was banished when we linked it away. And this is where the combo is going to divert a little bit from some of the other combos. To continue to play around Nib, we're going to link away the Cheshire Cat and the Hearts of Cryptor to go to SP Little Knight. And we're going to go Chain Link 1 Hearts of Cryptor and Chain Link 2 SP Little Knight, targeting our Shifter. This is their one opportunity to nib you, right? If they decide to nib now, it's going to tribute just your SP, and you won't be able to activate SP because obviously there's no other cards to banish. However, it's not a big deal to you whatsoever because the Hearts of Cryptor is going to summon back, and then you can do that same thing where you just banish the nib on this turn, and then you still have a disruption from your opponent's turn, and they're underneath the effect of Shifter. So we're going to resolve the chain. We're going to summon back Hearts of Cryptor, and then this is our end board. If they decide to nib us now, we obviously have the SP effect. We're going to tag itself out and the Hearts of Cryptor. We're going to play around the nib, and that's fantastic. They're not going to be able to really interact with us there. I did want to go over one thing with this end board. On Hearts of Cryptor, it has this little effect here that says, this effect's activation and effect cannot be negated if this card points to a monster. See here, where does this card point? It points up, left, and right. Oh, and look at that. It's pointing right at SP Little Knight. So you have kind of like an unstoppable banish. They're having to deal with not only having to play through Shifter, which is going to make their turn very awkward. Even if you're playing the Malice matchup, it's going to make your turn pretty awkward and make your engine a lot weaker going into the board because of the Shifter. Like, you're not going to be able to go for as many Link plays. So having that is really, really important. And then, not to mention, you're going to get 2 banishes and you're going to get follow-up off of it. It's a really cool end board. The next end board I'm going to show you is what we have deemed to be the Infinite Shifter board. It's basically a combo that's going to let you loop Shifter, not just like you're not just going to Shifter your opponent one time, like when you draw it, but you're going to be able to Shifter your opponent again. You're going to add back that Shifter, and I'll show you guys how to do that now. So in this combo, you can either do it with Shifter and Dormouse or Shifter and White Rabbit. I did want to show off White Rabbit. The combos are just a little bit different in all the situations that you have White Rabbit. They're not too different, but they are slightly different, so I did want to show off at least one combo that uses Rabbit. So we're going to start off this combo here. Big surprise, we're going to activate Shifter again. The card is legal, so we're going to activate it. Then we're going to normal summon White Rabbit. We're going to use the effect and set our TB11 from deck. And then we're going to activate it, banishing our White Rabbit to now summon out Dormouse, and use the White Rabbit effect to then special summon back. Like we said, the TB11 has this restriction that the monster summoned cannot attack or activate its effects this turn. Not a big deal. We're actually just going to link away this Dormouse into Link Disciple, or any Link 1, doesn't really matter. And we're going to trigger the effect of Dormouse to now special summon back. Now that it's a different card because it was banished and returned to the field, now we can use this card's effect. So we're going to use Dormouse effect. We're going to banish out Cheshire Cat, and then the Cheshire Cat is going to special summon itself back out. Now we're going to link away White Rabbit, the Dormouse, and the Link Disciple. We're going to go into Hearts of Cryptor. Kind of that same situation as last time, to where if they nib us, the Hearts of Cryptor is going to come back. Really cool interaction there. But we're not going to stop. We're actually going to link away those 2 monsters into something different. Not just SP, we're going to make Firewall Dragon. Because Hearts of Cryptor was banished, it's going to special summon back. And look at that, it points and co-links right with that Firewall. So now we're going to use the Firewall effect, and we're going to be able to add back our Dimensional Shifter to our hand. Really, really cool combo here. I did want to mention that if you had any Malice card in your hand, feel free to activate Cheshire, banish that card, and draw 2. Drawing 2 cards is never a bad thing, so if you had the opportunity to do that, you should definitely do so. But this is going to be your end board. You have Shifter for, like, the next turn, the next opportunity you have to activate Shifter, you should do so. And this is absolutely the combo you should be doing against some of those super graveyard heavy decks, like Fire King, Tear Lament, all those cool decks that use their graveyard. We're just going to turn that off and be a lame little loser and just Shifter them. Not just once, but twice, because it's funnier that way. But that's going to be it for pretty much all the things I wanted to show you guys today. I did want to make an announcement that the spreadsheet will be available the 29th of November. That's the day I'm going to go ahead and post it to go live. So if you guys want to check it out, go ahead and check it out then. It's almost done. We're just going through and quality controlling it, making sure there's no errors like last time. Did want to apologize that initially we didn't copy over everything to the spreadsheet version that we posted to you guys. We got it fixed pretty fast, but I do want to apologize. There were some people that were annoyed that when they clicked on a combo, it was like us skipping steps through it. We did have the combos already saved. We just didn't migrate it over correctly. But we're going to make sure that doesn't happen again, as well as we cleaned up the spreadsheet to make it even easier to understand for you guys. The spreadsheet's going to be $20. It's going to include the Malice and the Ryzel combos all together in one thing. A little bit cheaper than some of the other guys who have been posting it, as well as it's going to have a lot more combos. Right now, it looks like it's going to have around 200 combos combined between the decks, as well as how to play through hand traps on each and every one of them. And deck lists, so don't worry, it's going to have everything you guys need. They want to give that just a little bit of promotion here, that way you guys can look forward to it. But I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you guys wouldn't mind commenting, and subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. Besides that, though, I just hope that you guys have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.